All right. Just doing another live. Yeah, probably going kind of crazy with doing these live joints. Just want to get as much practice in as possible. I don't know if anyone even knows. This is impromptu, so I didn't tell anybody that I'm even going live. But just taking full advantage that I have the means to do so, so I will just do so. Yesterday, when I did the first legitimate live broadcast, I was on Sabbath in the fantastic area of downtown Brooklyn, Brooklyn Bridge Park. Now, it is May 11th. It is Mother's Day, so I know everyone's going to be out there filling up places such as Red Lobster, IHOP, Olive Garden, the Corner Bodega. There's going to be a lot of people out today. All the people who sell flowers, they out today making that money. Today is bank. You know, because, you know, apparently we don't ever do anything for the mothers in our lives during, you know, the rest of the year. But this is the one day to make up for all that stuff. So if you plan to go to anywhere to eat, don't do it. You should have went yesterday, or you do it tomorrow. After work, in the morning, you go tomorrow. Because you already know you gonna get to Olive Garden. There's gonna be an hour-long wait. Gonna be a 2-hour-long wait. And then when people get in, because they know it's a wait and they've been waiting, they say, okay, we wait like an hour and a half for our table. When we get seated, we gonna take our time. Okay? Even though we know that people are out there waiting. Oh, I should go get my car wash over here. Even though we know people are waiting for tables, they're gonna be like, you know what? We waited an hour, we gonna take our time. We know people are waiting, we gonna chill. When it look like we ain't eating no more, they gonna come say, hey, you want a check? No, I don't want my check. Give me some water. Give me some tea. We still eating. But today's nice. Today's fantastic. Today is awesome. I'm not even looking to travel. Well, I'm driving, so I can't look at anything. I don't think anyone's on here. There's no one on here. But yeah, I'm just seeing how this thing is. Especially with me moving, not being stationary. See how the connection holds up. I am looking for a non-problematic time on the streets. See, I have this camera, the gimbal, to follow my head, which even though I'm not really moving around a whole lot, I'm sitting in the driver's seat. So it's not a whole lot of moving that I'm going to be doing. You probably catch a live moment with me as I drive, dealing with the traffic, but the traffic is not really bad. It's 11:30, 11:44, quarter to 12. So I'm guessing at this point, everyone probably is just getting ready to go out and go eat. Everybody want their flowers already, or they're smart, they just stay home and make a Mother's Day breakfast or lunch. Well, it's around lunchtime now. Or everyone is at where they're going to be at already. So everyone's in the parking lot, and, you know, they go, let's go to Red Lobster. Or Red Lobster's a 2-hour wait, especially over there at Gateway Mall. Okay, let's go run over to Olive Garden. Olive Garden is an hour wait. Okay, we go to Olive Garden then. Or they go to that Boulder Creek Steakhouse over there. If it's like it's too long wait over there, we gonna go to the other place, the steakhouse. We might as well go over there. And if not, we just gonna get some Chinese food and take it home. But it's a fantastic day. It feels 80. It feels 80. It's like 75. About halfway there. 5 more degrees, it'll be 80. It feels like 80. And the skies are very clear as it can be here in New York City, Brooklyn. The weather's nice. May rain later, may not rain. Who knows? I know my truck is dirty. Where I parked at was under an overpass, and it just so happened where I parked yesterday was like the only spot where a whole bunch of water, lovely, delicious, dirty Brooklyn water, dripped all over my truck. So we don't only have just the haze of the pollen from these male trees spewing their stuff all over the place, making everybody sneeze, among other things that's in the air, lending to the air quality being poor. I now have all this stuff. You know, should I wash it? We'll see, because they keep saying it's going to rain, and if my truck is outside and stuff up and about and gets a nice rain, but there's little drips of rain, all it does is make more water stains. If it's heavy enough rain, it's kind of like a halfway washing, which is great. It does irk me a little bit seeing these water stains and stuff here, and then up here definitely too, but it's okay. If I don't have to use money, then I won't use any money. Traffic can see me pretty good, because as someone who does try my best to follow, yeah, to the best of my ability, unfortunately, the human factor still pops up. So there's times I would get very frustrated with people on the streets and their lack of awareness, or a lack of proactiveness, or lack of caring of other drivers on the road. New York City overall has gotten way worse over the years. It's already been in a state before, but it's got worse. So the past few years, you just see the decline. I know New York City, possibly the state, they jumped on the bandwagon of being very anti-motorist and anti-vehicular mindset. But overall, it's been bad all around. With that mindset, with the people who walk around very entitled, walk around very privileged, and don't care attitude. It's worse when you're behind the wheel of a vehicle, because that vehicle now becomes a weapon, okay? But then that same mindset with the pedestrians, people just walk out in the street wherever they want to. They're not even in the crosswalk. They don't even have the light in their favor. And a lot of them, they either act like they're from Krypton, so for some reason they think if the car hits them, they're gonna be fine. And then again, they're entitled, because the mentality here is that they have people thinking that they automatically always have the right of way, and it's always the motorist's fault. And you have the people on the bicycles, people on the scooters. So overall, just on the roads, with just people in general, it's a mentality here. It doesn't matter what demographic, it's just a mentality overall. It's got way worse. You know, a lot of drivers go through red light, solid red lights. Not even like it is a red light, which is already bad enough, where you're making the red light and you just get to the intersection right as it turns red, you squeeze through. A lot of people do it. But then there's times when the light is just red, solid red, and the driver's nowhere near the intersection, and they still go through because they figure, okay, since the light is red and the traffic, the intersecting traffic going across is green, I have a little bit of time to still squeeze through. It's ridiculous what people do. Absolutely ridiculous. You know, I don't mind the enforcement of things to maintain order, but don't over-enforce on one demographic and you just leave another demographic alone, because everybody has a role to play here with how things go. But today's pretty good. I want to jinx it. I don't say jinx it. I don't believe in that stuff really, but I always ask y'all to protect me. I'm not harmed in my vehicle. Ask them to make sure my vehicle is not damaged by anything or anyone. It's not vandalized, it's not stolen, it's not broken into. It's not ticketed, it's not towed, it's not booted. I pray for all these things, definitely, because these things can easily happen in the New York City, because the city loves money. One of the best ways for the city to get money, coming after drivers. And they're starting to come after cyclists too, just as I thought. The city loves money. But keep in mind, for anyone, let me see, I'm at a stoplight now. Ooh, anybody on here? Anybody on here? Come on. Oh, I got one person on here. Look at that. I appreciate you. Yeah. Anybody who views this during the live or after it comes out, you guys should put prayers. Everything you do. When you at home, pray for covering. Pray for the blood of Yahushua HaMashiach to be over you, for his name. Claim his power in his name and his authority. When you outside, because you don't know what you're going to do when you outside, you know what you're going to encounter. Things you may know, things you may not know. A lot of people will ridicule people like me for believing in the word. Meanwhile, there are people out here, legitimate witches and warlocks, that are putting things on people. While people are ridiculing me for following the word, there are people out here who are putting legitimate curses, attaching things spiritually to you, messing up your bloodline. Come on, dude. You know how to drive for me? Nah, Mr. Light Cousin. I don't thank you for that. There's people who are putting things out here on you. Companies are doing it. Certain people in parts of government are doing it. Everyday people with all the different beliefs, all the same things, all the cult stuff. So the same way how I ask for the covering for myself and my family and those around me and those who seek Yahushua, those whose hearts will be converted to him, I plead for my vehicle as well. I ask for these things for my vehicle as well, and things around me, you know, job, finances, mental state, physical state, spiritual state, all these things that you can't think of. There's never a shortage of things to ask for protection of and to be mindful of. Things that you around, that you may bring into your house, you may subject yourself to, because the adversary is busy, and the agents of the adversary are always busy, always busy. So you gotta be busy too. It may seem, come on, man. See what I'm saying? Pedestrian crossing when they ain't supposed to cross. You know? But yeah, I'm coming for everything. Trying to lack with anything. So, enjoying this day. I'm not too sure. I might go to the studio. I have a few things that I do have to do. So it all depends on the timing of how everything turns out. I would like to go to the studio, but I got the studio right here. So, okay, got a couple more people on the feed. I appreciate y'all very much for joining me on this fantastic ride in Brooklyn. Because I can't even say it's early. Usually I would say, because I don't see as much traffic, it's early, but this is the time, exactly the time where the traffic is up there. People out here, they are usually up and about, clogging up the streets with a bunch of noise, but people chilling. Like I said, they probably at home chilling, or they're where they want to be at already. So maybe the next couple of hours, then you'll see the noise and stuff. But I appreciate this. I appreciate this. It's like less people out here, you know, to complain about. I try not to complain, but it's hard not to around here. But thankfully, people not doing too much crazy stuff out here, so I could actually enjoy going from point A to point B. I'm not really big on this whole 15-minute city movement, anti-motorist movement. Again, I'm all for enforcing laws, rules, regulations, so we have order. If we don't have order, we don't have, the real order comes from self-governance. This is why we can't have nice things. People end up abusing things. But with proper enforcement, we can have nice things. At least we can have nice things a little bit longer. They can last a little bit longer. You know, I'm a driver. I definitely have that New York impatience, but I still try to be mindful. I try my best to be mindful. You have to drive for everyone else around you. But I actually do like driving. Just don't like it in traffic with a whole lot of other people around on the road. This is fantastic. This is awesome. And it's true. If you could manage to drive here properly, because a lot of people, they operate a vehicle, that doesn't mean they drive properly. It's because you know where the gas and the brake is, and you may know how to turn the wheel. That doesn't mean you're a good driver. Gotta look up, look at that. See at these corners, you can't see around, especially if certain vehicles are parked at the corners, you can't see, so you gotta creep out. Hopefully somebody ain't speeding down there and smack into your vehicle. It happens plenty of times, unfortunately. They probably should restrict parking there, but there's so much extra congestion now, and everyone, looking for more spots. They have a whole lot of buildings built up, but it doesn't accommodate for all the people, the tenants who move into them buildings, those big buildings all over Brooklyn, New York City, to have spots for every household that'll have a car. Only a certain amount. So which means the population of vehicles are going up. As I've talked about many times with people who know me, the biggest thing here in New York City is congestion pricing. There's too much congestion. We need to get rid of cars, blah, blah, blah. But people don't realize that New York City has deliberately been making congestion since 9/11. 9/11 is when NYPD basically commandeered certain areas of lower Manhattan, and they've been basically, not New York Police Department, but just the officials with the city, started restricting roads that were actually very big. They made them very small, small now. Places that used to be 2 lanes is now 1 lane. Many places where you could actually drive through areas you can't drive anymore. It's cut off. Certain places where you could park are no longer there. They took away parking spots. So consistently over the decades, they've been taking away driving lanes, taking away roads you could drive down, taking away parking spots. Many of those parking spots went to these city bikes because, of course, it's an initiative to make these bike lanes in partnership with City Bike. Of course, that's big money with the city. Everything's about money. That's one of the reasons why. But now there's so much restrictions on vehicles, it naturally is going to cause congestion. So the city made its own problem that it wants to make its own solution for. Imagine that. I enjoy driving because I'm grateful that we do have public transportation system here, buses and trains. I'm not a fan of them. If I need them, they're there. And they're there for many people who don't drive around the place, many people who don't have a vehicle, can't afford a vehicle, or just don't want to for many reasons. Or if I need to go somewhere, yeah, okay, cool. You take the bus, you take the train. This is cool. You take an Uber if you can get it. But to take away the option of people having their free means of transportation and how they can operate it, to try and demonize it. That's how you sway the public mind. You make something into the boogeyman so you can now implement some sort of control or law. That's how it usually goes. So people like me are the boogeyman, even though there are times I'm a pedestrian too. But see, when I'm a pedestrian, I'm aware of my surroundings. If I know that I'm going to step out in the street and I'm not paying attention, that's on me. I'm not going to act entitled because of a vehicle colliding into my body at 20 miles an hour can do plenty of damage. A vehicle colliding into my body doing 20 miles an hour can do plenty of life-altering damage. So I think it behooves me and everyone to be very humble when they step out in these streets. Look to make sure this, vehicles that's coming around you, they are paying attention to what they're doing. Don't step out and think just because, it's the law, you have to stop for me. The law is not going to make it any better for me if I get struck down and I'm now paralyzed for life, or I have a permanent limp, or I have to walk with a walker or assistant, or I can't walk at all. Or mashes my head up in a certain way because I want to be entitled and prideful. Doesn't make any sense. Be humble. Be humble out there. Humility is the key for any and everything. So when I do spend time outside of a vehicle and I'm actually walking, which I do plenty of times, I tend to be pretty humble. I don't act like an entitled person who think that everybody's supposed to stop. Even if I have the right of way, I still got to make sure, because we already got plenty of problems, and I don't want no more problems. I definitely don't want no extra medical problems going on here. Don't want to have to go to court for nothing. I don't want to inconvenience anyone else too. That's the other big part of it. I don't want to inconvenience anyone else because of my attitude. So, just be humble. Yeah, you know, when you in a vehicle, you know, you protected. It's a big exoskeleton. We got AC. You got entertainment system and stuff. You can go as fast as basically as you want. Get to somewhere pretty fast. Still try to be humble. I don't like the foolishness on the road, but I still try to be humble. As you can tell, I'm just driving around, just doing filler for my life. Kind of babbling, but yeah. I was gonna stop somewhere to get some stuff, but I don't think I am at this point. Right now, I'm passing by Allen's. Well, I'm not going in Allen's. I'm just passing by there. I haven't gone to Allen's in a while. They still make good stuff, but you know, back in the day, it was way better. Way better when the management was different, but it's still good. I haven't gone in a while, and it being that a lot of things I switched up eating, it's like, you know, I haven't really looked to go there in a while, but it's nice to know it's there. You know, there's a lot of places that end up closing down because of the rent too blasted high, and the places I probably never went to like that. But then when I see it gone, I was like, hey, what happened to that place? Oh, they gone. Oh, man, that's so sad. Mind you, I never went there to go eat. Never went there to go patronize it. It's just, you're just so used to, out of habit, seeing places. It's like you feel good when you see familiar things. So now it's gone. You're like, oh, man, a piece of you's kind of gone a little bit. Not a major piece, but a little piece. You know, especially you've been around somewhere for a long time, or you just happen to go somewhere that you haven't gone to in a while and you don't see it there. So this is why I kind of like knowing proper directions, because things you could use as landmarks could easily be gone one day. So a lot of places I may not be familiar with. Yeah, it's good to use landmarks because chances are, you know, certain places are not going to go away. But just in case, I still like to know I have a general direction of where I'm going. So I give props to, you know, a lot of truck drivers and cab drivers from back in the days, from the 90s, early 2000s, in the 80s, 70s, all these people who had a profession of driving in this city or wherever else, and they knew where to go. There was no GPS back then. I mean, you know, out of familiarity, yeah, I guess I could understand where I could memorize certain places, but now, I know everyone's very dependent on GPS. Technology has its place. It's fantastic. I also like the fact that it can easily be used to control people and track people and all types of stuff. I'm not a fan of that. But it makes it easier with GPS, yes. So now more people can be a cab driver, taxi driver. And you know, I was going to do that at one point in this vehicle. This is before New York City bowed down to the Taxi Limousine Commission, because Uber and Lyft, they were eating their lunch. They were eating their lunch because they basically had a monopoly. They had other private cab companies too, but then Uber, with all of its fantastic features in the app, like you could just go and choose what kind of vehicle you want, pay for it. Then once you pay for it to confirm your ride, it tells you your driver's name, has a picture of your driver, has a description of the vehicle coming to get you, has the license plate information, has it on the map where the vehicle is. That's awesome. Fantastic. The Taxi and Limousine Commission had nothing. They had nothing but a bunch of smelly cabs and basically an entitled mindset with those people, because they know they had the transportation gig on lock, basically. So growing up as a young strapping black lad, I've had my fill, as many other young strapping black lads and black folk had, where I want to get a cab and I'm not in Brooklyn. Try and hail a cab down, whiz right by you. And if one does stop for you, oh, no, Brooklyn, no Brooklyn, no Brooklyn. So stuff like that, just like one of my good friends, Mr. Hurdell, says, yeah, I'm glad that Uber came around because we now get a ride, we confirm the ride, and we good. Wherever we gotta go, we getting there. We ain't gotta worry about people flying by us. We ain't gotta worry about smelly cabs because Uber, they care about ratings because you rate them badly, this is gonna look poor for them, less money for them. So it's gonna be a good riding experience with Uber. They were eating their lunch, so they cried about it. So now everybody who wants to do Uber has to be certified as a legitimate taxi. I get it. It brings a little bit more accountability, but Uber already had all that stuff in place already. So it's more a political power move. And even still, the yellow cab system didn't even get better because they have an app. The app is trash. There's still smelly cabs, very rough rides inside many of those cabs. A lot of these guys beat their cars up. I mean, it's not an easy thing on you as a driver, and it's not an easy thing as, for a vehicle, because you're putting insane amounts of miles. So I can understand, you can't afford like any other drivers to just fix whatever when you want to, how you want to. I get that. But Uber and Lyft, they were eating their lunch. The yellow cabs, they were eating their lunch. So they figured they had to do something. So what do people do when they're getting squeezed out of their part of the market? They go lobby. They go to politics and get people on board on the payroll to swing the law in their favor. This is what people do. This is what they do in the real world. Same thing happened in DJI. DJI makes great drones. What do other drone companies from America do? Because they couldn't get in the market because DJI just had the market on lock for consumer drones and even commercial industry drones. They try to get politicians on the payroll to change the law so they could limit how they can operate so they can make money. Not because they're offering better quality service, because they getting beat down and they got very, very lackadaisical. So as opposed to saying, let's step our game up and let's meet them where they're at, or let's try to improve and get better than what they're providing. No, we're just gonna play grimy political games. This is what they do. So yeah, but at one point before that political mumbo jumbo was happening, I was thinking about doing an Uber, but I drive too rough. I probably get a lot of 1 and 2 star ratings. I drive too rough for people's liking. I'm aware of it. Sometimes I try to drive smooth, depends on who I'm in a car with or if I'm just mindful. And then at the same time, I don't feel like having a bunch of people in my vehicle. It's just what it is. So I know some people is like, hey, you got to get on your hustle. You got to be on your grind. Yeah, I can understand that. But I don't want to grind like that. If I absolutely had to, sure, but God's blessed me tremendously. Could do it if I chose to, but I don't want to. But yeah, there's a lot of cons. Like I said, I drive kind of rough. So that's the main thing. And I know most people don't want no rough, hard, aggressive Brooklyn, New York driving. Going slow. Oh, I got a few people on here. I appreciate y'all. Take your time for this. Coming up on here, as I did do a random live. I guess I'll be doing it more in the mindset, coming out the mindset of losing my beloved wife. I didn't want to record anything. I didn't feel like recording anything for a while, but I'm up on it for now. I know I have my seasons. I'm weird because certain things I'm not super consistent with. I just have seasons where I'll have my waves where I would be into something or do it, and then I'll pull back a little bit and then get back up on it again. I'm trying to get not like that as far as this is concerned too, because I have the means to do it and I do have the drive to do it. It's just making sure I put aside the time to do it. because I have the means to do it. I want to do it. I just got to make sure I make the available time to do what I need to do what I want to do. Okay. Yeah, I'm just basically driving around. So I'm pretty sure people who are very astute would probably look to see, oh, this guy's just driving around and around. I'm just doing it just to talk because I'm enjoying talking, even though I'm not getting any. It's just one-way conversation of people looking at me. And I'm kind of thinking of what I want to do, but you know what? I'm probably just going to just end up parking it up. Give myself some time to figure out where else I want to go, what I need to do. But I still have to go somewhere by less than an hour. And I think I'm just enjoying the day. I'm not walking around, but I'm just enjoying, I guess, feasting my eyes, looking around, enjoying the good weather, enjoying the traffic. Even though there's a lot of people that are double parked in certain areas, it's okay. It's not super crazy as it usually would be or as I expected it to be. So I guess I'm just here. But anyways, yeah, shared some things, random thoughts. People who know me, these are things I talk about all the time. I'll probably call this stream an end because I'm about to park up and go inside for a hot second before I have to jump back outside again. All right, thank you guys. I don't know if I may stream again. I may try and do the 3D camera, but I'll probably do that if I'm more in a more open road or anywhere else about the city. All right, I appreciate you guys. Am I in the chat? I didn't even look at the chat. Oh no, there's nothing in the chat. Okay, that was just a message about it. Okay, guys, I'm ending this stream. Thank you very much for watching.